I entitled this the Domestic Violence Ankle Bracelet Monitoring Device. This concept deals with a way that I believe we could help prevent some of the violence that's attributed to domestic violence. Here's how it would work. In the event, let's say the man and woman are going to get a divorce, and let's say, as it usually the case is, unfortunately, that the husband or the boyfriend decides, or has a violent past, or makes threats towards his wife, or if they're just dating, girlfriend, and the girlfriend or the wife decides to take out a restraining order. Well, she can also ask that that a monitoring device, ankle bracelet monitoring device, be placed on his ankles, so that the police can monitor his movements while they're getting divorced, or for until it's resolved. This is based on so many domestic violence cases and stories that I've read all through my life, but the one that really got me was one that I read yesterday on Fox News website, where two little girls, or at least one of them, were hiding in the closet when their father, or their mother's ex-husband now, broke into their home and stabbed her to death while she slept. And they actually hid in the closet, although I don't think he would have harmed them. He had any intention of harming them. But it had to be a terrifying experience for him. I mean, really terrifying. But he basically stabbed his wife to death, or ex-wife to death, with a knife. Well, if he had had a monitoring device on, ankle bracelet on, maybe then he could, just maybe then, he might not have ever been able to do that. Let's say if he took it off, and if the police are paying attention, of course, whoever did that monitoring these devices, could have called her up immediately and warned her that her husband or ex-husband just took off his ankle bracelet. And obviously he's probably on his way over there. The police could respond, she could get her kids out, they could hide, they could do something. Or if he kept it on and went over there hoping that somebody in the police department or something wasn't paying any attention, and they could have alerted her that he's on his way over in that direction. The police could have also responded and possibly prevented this crime. Now, to make this a reality, of course, not every time a person gets a divorce or they have a breakup can they ask for something like this. Of course, there has to go along with a restraining order, and there has to be a reason given. I mean, you just can't go up and a woman just can't go up and say, well, she wants it, and she's automatically going to get it. And because it's not going to work that way. But men, and again, some women who have a history of violence, or there is evidence that they're a threat to their spouse, a judge could order that ankle bracelet to be placed on his or her ankles, of course. And it will save some lives. I just pitched this on my MySpace page, a small little article on it, and hopefully a few people will read it. I pitched this idea before. Again, there's a lot of flaws in this concept. It's not going to be anywhere close to perfect, but it can save some lives. Some people say, well, how long will he have to wear it, or she have to wear it? Well, I don't know. That's going to have to be up to a judge. Court can't make someone wear it for life. There may be a certain amount of time on it, something like that. But I do think it's in some cases it's an acceptable way to monitor people who are a threat to another person. The fear, of course, I think we all have of something like this is that it becomes used on a little bit too much. Because the government getting involved in this is what's scary. You want the government to come in and start giving it to anybody that they think might be violent. You can't do that. That's why this has got to be left up to the judges. And this is something where you really have to be careful. I mean, the government's got to really be careful about not meddling into it and let the court system, judges, determine whether a person should wear one. I mean, it could also be extended to a stalker, but there has to be evidence. It just hearsay ain't going to do it. or just a belief. There has to be some evidence that a person is dangerous. And if they're going to live near the person that they're dangerous to, then they should have to wear this ankle bracelet. If I was in that situation, I would say I had a history of violence or something like that, and judge told me, well, you're going to have to wear the ankle bracelet. Let's say I was married and getting a divorce, and I had a history of violence. Well, under certain circumstances, I'd probably say, okay, Judge, I'll tell you what, I'll leave Colorado, and how about I move to Florida? And I'll call in every 12 hours to somebody or whatever to show, that where I'm at, that I'm not a threat. Now, see, in circumstances like that, Judge say, okay, you can wear that ankle bracelet till you catch a plane or start to leave the state, and we're going to see you often once you're out of the state. Or you may have to wear it till you get to Florida, then you take it off there, and, a situation like that. Because sometimes I believe that when it comes to domestic violence and people are a threat to another person, this is my personal belief. It's probably not constitutional, but that person should have to get the heck out of the state. They should have to move to the other side of the country. Sometimes that's what's best, It doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee they can't sneak back in, but it helps, But I still think my idea would save some lives. I just am abhorred at all the victims, people who are murdered by an ex-lover. That is just unbelievable. And our system still isn't responsive. It still doesn't deal with it. Just like the girl in Vegas a few years ago who had to deliver her own restraining order to her ex-boyfriend. And she had to deliver it herself. Cops were too busy. Guess what? She knocked on his door. She gave it to him. He took out, I don't remember if it was a gun or a knife, and chased her around the house and killed her. That should have never happened. But that's how bad our system is. And unfortunately, there is no women's rights movement in this country that's worth 10 cents. So I guess we men are now going to have to take up the mantle to help protect the women in this country again, because women who used to be for protecting other women, who used to speak out on domestic violence, don't do that anymore. The only thing that the Now Gang care about is abortion, and that's it, nothing more. And if it ain't about that, they don't care about anything else. And that's, we saw it with Bill Clinton, and we've seen it with Sarah Palin, the way David Letterman treated her. And you have even women at MSNBC pretty much defending what David Letterman did. But the Now Gang, we'll just put you on the Hall of Shame, and that's it. But that's the country we live in. They just don't care anymore. And, of course, the conservative women don't speak out very much either. So they're just as guilty. But anyhow, this is just an idea. If you like it, you might want to pitch it to your congressman or congresswoman and see what happens. And hopefully we can just pray that the government or the states that if they pass such a law would do it responsibly and be very careful about how they apply it. Again, it has to be done very carefully. And hearsay won't do it, or just somebody that says, I want another person to have it on there, they're threatening me, and that's it. You can't do it that way. The other person, there has to be some evidence that they're a threat. But my heart goes out to those two kids who saw one of the most horrific type of crimes you can say, their own father murdering their own mother. I don't know what kind of woman she was. I don't know if she used the B word or not. I have no way of knowing. But I've learned in life that what you have to do sometimes is when you're with somebody that's, that drives you that insane, I guess, you just need to calm down and deal with it and just find another way around it. But the violent aspect will not make you feel better. It will never do you better. And it's a sure ticket to hell, because murderers do not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And of course, we're to be forgiven, but what this guy did is beyond unbelief. He took his two kids' mother away, and now he's going to go away, and he may get executed. Let me stop where this takes goes too long. But if you like that idea, please pitch it, and hopefully something good can come from this, because I really am so tired of so much of the violence I see in this country, especially domestic violence, and nobody really doing much about it. And I'm just not in a position to do much about it. I'm just about the best I can do. Thank you for your time.